Hi. If you have always wanted to try yoga, or you're just curious about trying yoga, but you're not quite sure where to start, or you're afraid you won't fit in, then this yoga tutorial is for you. If you are stressed out, disappointed by life, suffer from back pain or headaches or sleeplessness, then this tutorial is for you. Hi, I'm Pam Medina, and I have been studying and practicing yoga for 25 years. I am the proud owner of the Yoga Lily in Clifton Park, and I am also the director of the Yoga Teacher Training Program here at our studio. I am so excited to share my love and passion of yoga with you. So grab yourself a cup of chai or a nice glass of water, and let's begin. During this video, I'm going to teach you when you should start yoga, what yoga really is, what the right style of yoga is for you, how to choose the right teacher, and how to prepare for your first yoga class. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's begin with that. When to start yoga? Well, yoga is not about being perfect. I have men and women that come to start practicing yoga with me, and they look and are experiencing all sorts of different things. You do not need to wait to be perfect to start yoga. Yoga is about accepting what's happening now. So you don't wait to start yoga until you are healthier, until you are more fit, until you have lost weight. You don't wait to start yoga until you are younger or more flexible, or until life magically opens a doorway where there's nothing else to do but to try something new. That's not how it works. Yoga needs to start now. You can start by just taking a deep breath. Relaxing. It's that simple. So yoga is about starting right now, and it's going to give you the tools that you need to realign your life, reduce inflammation in your body, and calm your mind so you can sleep better at night and be a happier, more positive person. Yoga can help you fall back in, have everything fall back into place. So I just want to say that it doesn't matter how you look. You can see these women all look differently, and I have women that look, and men that look similarly, and some are tall, and some are short, and some are wide, and some are thin, and some have movement restrictions. And it doesn't matter how you look. What matters is that you show up. So, and I just want to give a little plug. This is a picture from the movie Embrace, which is about women accepting their bodies and men as they are. And if you haven't seen the movie, I highly recommend it. So yoga uplifts your spirits. It can take you from feeling totally down, depressed, angry, and feeling overwhelmed and pressured to feeling uplifted, open, and ready to experience life. What is yoga? Yoga is union. It literally means union or to yoke. So to unite. And when they speak of that, we're talking about the body, mind, and the spirit. So it can be very disheartening as a serious practitioner of yoga serious but not stoic, practitioner of yoga, who has dedicated her life to practicing and really mastering the art of being a yogini, and to see, some of these quote-unquote yoga classes where they are not incorporating the principles of breath, the principles of practicing mental awareness and mindfulness, and without joining the awareness of the body, mind, and the breath, you're really missing the spirit of yoga. So, and when they talk about spirit, like, what is spirit? Well, it's that part of you that you can't see, right? It's that part of you that you can feel, but it's that part that you can't see. So, yoga is an ancient lineage, and here is some of the famous yogis. This is Master Shivananda, who opened his spiritual center to women for the first time in the early 1900s. His disciple was Swami Satchidananda, and Swami Satchidananda made the opening address at the Woodstock event here in Woodstock in Bethel, New York. And he is attributed to that wonderful, peaceful vibration that was felt and experienced during the 3 days of free music. His disciple is Swami Ashokananda, who is the president of Integral Yoga Institute and over in New York City. And some of you may have heard of the hugging saint, Amma. She has not only donated more hugs than any other human being, but has also donated more proceeds and more services than any other human being on the planet, including Oprah. So there are many different styles of yoga. And so I'm going to go over some of the bigger branches. Hatha yoga is the hatha. Ha means sun and da means moon, and it refers to that balance in life of the light and the dark, the yin and the yang, the male and the female. It's the oldest form of the physical practice of yoga. And it is, we focus on one yoga pose at a time, relaxing the best way to, it's very relaxing, and it's the best way to truly learn yoga poses. So, and we're going to talk more about Hatha yoga. From Hatha yoga, Vinyasa flow was born, and this is more of a swift-moving yoga practice where you link one pose to the next without break, without rest. From Vinyasa, Power Yoga was born, and it is inspired from Vinyasa, but there's a real emphasis on heat and muscle building. It's a very physically challenging practice. And Kundalini Yoga is focusing on the current of energy, known as the Kundalini, or the Kundalini Shakti that moves up and down the spine. We'll talk more about that. And it's involves a lot of fiery breathing and a lot of focus on the adrenal system. So here's some images of what you might see in a Hatha yoga class, a Vinyasa yoga class, a Power yoga class, and a Kundalini yoga class. So the best way to start yoga is through the practice of Hatha yoga. Hatha yoga is the best thing for beginners because we do move through each pose individually and there's no rush. So you really can take your time to get to know each yoga pose, its benefits, how it helps you, if it's beneficial for you, and you can learn your alignment and how to stack the bones and really structure your body. So Hatha yoga is excellent for improving flexibility and strength and balance. This is cat-cow pose, which is great for healing the spine. And here is a tree pose, wonderful for preventing osteoporosis and reversing osteopenia. Here is downward dog pose, which is a wonderful pose to stretch out the legs and build arm strength, and also boost your endorphins, your happy hormones. And here is a woman doing a deep cobra. We don't usually recommend you come in that deep when you first start. You want to protect your back, but it's a free picture from the internet. So we also teach breathing. So if you suffer from asthma or shortness of breath, this is a great practice. And we are very famous for our delicious and delightful deep relaxation practices. And normally we have a blanket to help you cover. And we have a big pillow that goes under your knees to help you relax. So if laying on your back isn't something that you find comfortable, we always have adaptions. So the other thing I want to mention about Hatha is when you're moving through each pose individually, the teacher has a chance to really personalize your practice. So if you're struggling, would have time to offer you a block to help you, or a yoga strap. And I'll be making another video soon about how to use those things. But it's really quite the different practice when you're slowing down, and it's the antithesis of this busy life that causes stress and tension in our body, and we can really relax and come home to ourselves. So vinyasa, and once you have learned your Hatha yoga and you're feeling very comfortable and confident, then you can begin to consider signing up for vinyasa classes, and this is where we cultivate a lot of strength and elasticity and grace. So vinyasa is very similar to dance in the sense that you're moving swiftly from one pose to the next without break, no rest, and it's sequenced in a way that you're moving in dance-like movements almost. So here's some pictures of poses that you might do in your vinyasa class. And once you have mastered vinyasa, then you can move through onto power yoga. And so you're going to build first your strength and your flexibility, your fluidity in your hatha and your vinyasa classes, and then begin to build more endurance and mobility through power yoga. So, and I should say that, you know, no matter what class you take, you should never feel pressured to complete a pose or do it perfectly. You should honor your limitations no matter what you're doing. And if you ever feel pressured from a teacher to push yourself, then that might not be the right teacher for you, unless that's really your style and that's what you want. So power yoga is very physically focused, and sometimes it does leave the spiritual emphasis behind. But if you attend like our empowered flow practice, we use the intensity of the practice as a gateway to move into uncharted territory and cross boundaries that we may have set for ourselves. Always moving safely without injury. So here's some pictures of poses that you might find in a power yoga practice. And then while you're taking your hatha, your vinyasa, your empowered flow, you should begin to develop some awareness of your energy body. And so that is where the Kundalini practices come in. So if you were to take our Shakti Sadhana class, you would experience now weaving maybe a practice that is very simple, like bridge pose, but more focusing on the energy of the pose and how it affects us. And so we start to not just focus on the physical benefits, but also on the energetic benefits. And they're often linked to what we refer to as the chakras or energy centers in the body. And there are 7 major ones. And here is a picture of how we portray the chakras, or chakras, depending on who you talk to. And they all interweave with certain qualities: survival, sex, power, love, expression, perception, spirituality. Kundalini helps you develop awareness of your energy centers and your energy body. So here at the Yoga Lily, we combine all 4 of those methods: Hatha, Vinyasa, Power, and Kundalini equals the Yoga Lily. So we begin with gentle Hatha practices. This is a great pose for sciatica. And then we move on to Vinyasa, where we're focusing on moving seamlessly from one pose to the next. And then Power Yoga, where we begin to make the practices more physically challenging. And then we move into the Shakti Sadhana, or the awareness of the Kundalini begins to become very important. That said, the Kundalini, the Shakti Sadhana class is not necessarily more physically challenging, but it does require that you have some sense of feeling the energy body. Also wanted to mention that hot yoga has become very, very popular here in the West. And I personally haven't had a good experience with hot yoga, but that doesn't mean that you wouldn't. Some precautions: hot yoga is not very friendly to menopausal women, such as myself. The extreme heat has a tendency to make you believe that you are more flexible than you actually are, and you can become prone to injury. And hot yoga is the form of yoga where most injuries do occur. You can feel exhausted or dehydrated from a hot yoga practice where the room is set to 95 degrees or higher. Some people complain of feeling nauseous or having a headache. It's usually due to dehydration, so do be sure that you hydrate. You should be hydrating before and after all yoga classes, regardless of whether or not they're labeled hot or warm. So how do you find the best teacher for you? So the truth is that, these yoga practices are very old. They started in the caves of the Himalayas. We're talking at least 5,000 years old, and you can see some very ancient runes here of people. You can see these images that are from caves of people practicing yoga. And there's even more pictures of people practicing meditation. If you've ever had a chance to go to the Ellora and Ajanta caves in India, you would find that there are miles and miles of caves and carvings of people meditating and doing yoga. So since it is 5,000 years old, of course, there's been many teachers and many disciples of those teachers, and so many people. Because of that, there are thousands of yoga schools and thousands of yoga teachers. And what happens is the teachers find what works best for them, and then they share it with the world in most cases. However, yoga has become very salesy, and people have really caught on to signing up to get your yoga butt, or look great, feel great, and yeah, you're gonna look great and feel great. I was 300 pounds. I am 100 pounds lighter, over 100 pounds lighter than I was before I started yoga, and I was a chain smoker light one cigarette off of another, and yoga helped me quit smoking. So I do feel and look better. I'm not perfect. I don't need to be perfect, and neither do you. Okay? But there's a lot of progress that happens in yoga. So what happens, so now since yoga has become kind of that go-to word, you can become a yoga teacher pretty easily and with very little experience or knowledge of the physical anatomy, the benefits, or contraindications of yoga poses. You can really cause injury physically to somebody, mentally, and emotionally. So you want to find a yoga teacher that has been trained in how to help people balance and harmonize their body and their also their mind and their emotions. So how do you do that? Well, you want to go ahead and you want to read teachers' bios. You want to go to the website. You want to get to know who you're studying with, because you are an important person, and you don't need to take just anybody's advice. You need to feel right about what you're doing. And so the Yoga Alliance is an organization that is trying to regulate the standards of yoga and keep the ancient and sacred practice of yoga respected. So the first level of graduation is RYT. You want to make sure that who you're studying with is a registered yoga teacher. So everyone at my studio can get their registration through the Yoga Alliance because they have studied with me, and we'll get to that. You can find somebody that has an ERYT. That means that they have over 1,000 yoga teaching hours. They've gotten their training, and they've taught for 1,000 hours. You can find somebody that has a 500 level or an ERYT. Here I am. So I am an experienced registered yoga teacher with 500 hours of study, and the last I registered, I believe I listed myself as having 6,000 hours of yoga teaching, but I think at this point I have almost 10,000. I love what I do. I love teaching yoga. There's nothing more rewarding than having somebody tell me, I came in with back pain and I left without it. Or, I used to get these chronic headaches from my neck pain, and I don't have that anymore. Or I used to go to bed at night and not be able to sleep. I was so worried. But through your teachings and the things that you've shared with me, I feel so comforted and I'm able to sleep better at night. So, find someone who's experienced, and don't be afraid to ask questions, okay? You want to find the right teacher for you. There are teachers out there that are really in it for their ego. Here is a picture of Bikram, who has been accused of a lot of sexual harassment, among other things. And here he is just dominating his students, standing on her back. And, do you want somebody that is in it for themselves, or do you want somebody that's in it for your benefit? So here I am with my one of my beloved students, Sydney. She's a great client, and I'm giving her a neck release. I'm releasing her neck before relaxation, and you can tell she's just so happy. And you want to find the right class for you. So the most common mistake is that people want to jump right in. They want to take the most advanced class because they either A, they're already super fit, B, they're already super flexible, or C, they just want to make change as quickly as possible. So jumping into the most advanced class as soon as you possibly can is not the greatest idea. Number one, if you are super fit, athletic, probably need to focus on mobility and flexibility. If you are flexible, naturally double jointed, things like that, you need to focus on strength, structure, stability. If you want to make change fast, the best way to make change fast is to find a steady rhythm where you can attend yoga classes 2 to 3 times a week or more, and add that to home practice, even if it's a few minutes a day. You can't rush healing. You can't rush transformation, okay? It takes time. And, there's a story about this butterfly who once this man thought that he was helping a butterfly by opening its cocoon. But you know what? That butterfly never flew because it needed that rush of energy for the wings to open so it can fly. And that is the same thing that you need to go through your own personal struggle that you might have with patience, being patient with yourself. And that is your practice. That's your assignment. So to find the right class for you, study your teacher and start at the beginning. Start with a Hatha yoga class. So here's more pictures of us in our Hatha yoga class. We're doing and I have to say, we don't take pictures of all of our yoga class. We told everybody that we were going to come in and take pictures. We do that about once a year. So here we are centering ourselves, breathing, and here we are doing a warrior pose and chair pose and doing a spinal twist here. So you deserve to give yourself time to repair and restore. Your nervous system requires time to rejuvenate itself. And no matter if you're in amazing shape or if you are what some people might call a couch potato, you deserve time. And it's going to take you time because no matter what your physique is like, all human beings are experiencing a lot of stress in these times. So give yourself that time. Stress is the #1 cause for disease. We're talking stroke, heart attack, right? Diabetes. These things can be avoided, reversed, or symptoms can be decreased when we reduce stress. And yoga, through its body and breath practices and its mindfulness practices, can help you completely realign your life and rejuvenate yourself so that you feel renewed. So here's one of our favorite poses that we do at the Yoga Lily, legs at the wall pose. A really great pose if you have leg or foot pain, after a long run, or if you've worked on your feet all day, if you have edema or diabetes. This is also a really great yoga pose for you. So you might be wondering, how long do you need to practice? Well, you're going to feel benefits the first time you take yoga. You're going to feel more relaxed and limber, and you'll get a little taste of that yoga bliss. But according to the sutras of Patanjali and myself, I'm going to say, you need to practice for a long time without break. So before you start to really feel significant differences, you're going to be needing to attend two classes for 2 or 3 times a week for about 3 months. And, if you can't get to class 2 or 3 times a week, once a week is great. Some yoga is better than no yoga. At least that will help you give yourself the needed time to de-stress for a little while every week. Some people say that yoga is better than a counseling or therapy session, and our issues are in our tissues, right? We hold our emotions in our body, and it's just so great to slow down the mind and really wring out the stress and tension and the worries of the week. So one of the wonderful benefits that you will start to see is you'll have more time for what's really important in your life. You'll begin to reprioritize your life. So your relationships will be easier to manage. You'll make more space for the joy in your life. you'll be able to take yourself a little bit less seriously, and you'll be able to have a little bit more fun with ordinary things. So I love this guy playing air guitar in his vacuum, and this woman singing in her brush. So here's a fun tip. You can, before you start, you might even want to pause for a moment the video and do this. Write down all your health complaints, all your emotional struggles. Write down everything that's going on within you, even your spiritual questions, and see if once you've practiced for 6 months or a year, go back to that list and see how it's changed. I have people tell me every day that their hip pain is gone now. They sleep better. Their back pain is gone. Their sciatica has healed. They are experiencing less frequent headaches. So a couple of things I want to tell you so you can feel really comfortable at your first class is you want to avoid eating heavily, and you want to stick to things like juices and smoothies for about the 2 hours prior to your yoga class. And the reason for that is you may be laying on your belly, you may be putting pressure on your belly in forward folds. You may also even, and if you are going to more advanced classes, you might even be upside down, which can cause some indigestion. So you don't want to be uncomfortable. And also, some people complain that the yoga poses, because we are moving and we're putting the intestines are getting a bit of a massage, the digestive system is being moved in ways that it's not used to. You get a little bit of flat twist. So you can avoid the in the middle of class. Not that it's a big deal if you do. Well, nobody cares. But you can avoid that if you avoid eating for a few hours before class. So a nice fresh glass of orange juice will do. So what to wear? You want to be comfortable. An elastic waist, anything with an elastic waistband is going to be great. Sweatpants and a t-shirt is perfectly fine. You can see here that this is me practicing outside. You want to make sure you're going to be warm enough. I have layers on. I can take my hat off and my jacket and whatnot. And what not to wear. This is a picture of what not to wear. Her shirt is a little too low cut now. If she slid across the floor into Cobra, that might lower even more, and she might be showing a little more than she wants to. So ladies, I recommend shirts that are a little bit higher cut, not because we're super conservative, but it's more about you just feeling comfortable. So you can see here in this picture, Gina and Liz are both wearing tanks that cut a little bit higher, and myself and Paige as well. And these ladies wearing, layers and very comfortable clothes. My tree, my dog, shows up naked to yoga class every time. You gotta watch out for your puppies, because they're gonna always want to get in your space when you're doing yoga at home. They love the yoga energy. They just love that vibe. So wear shoes that are easy to slip off. Most studios will want you to take their shoes off, and I love this little expression: since little hands touch our floors, please leave your shoes at the door. Silence your cell phones. Even when you leave your phone on vibrate, you'll be amazed how loud that vibration is when you're blissed out and you're relaxing in deep relaxation. So happiness is peace and quiet. Yeah, Stevie is right. Don't rush. Try not to bookend your days so tightly. Give yourself a little bit of space before class and after class. So you don't want to run into class late, because number one, you'll be embarrassed. You won't have time to talk to your teacher about your movement restrictions or your health goals. You're going to want to know where the bathroom is. You also may have to sign a health waiver. So give yourself a little bit of time to arrive early so you can be relaxed. And, you know, it doesn't always happen. This is life. You know, sometimes there's traffic. That's okay. Just be compassionate with yourself. We will be compassionate with you. But try not to make it a habit. And give yourself a little time after class. Don't plan on, you know, rushing out of class and move, 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 move. Try to keep that peaceful vibration within you. And, you know, don't plan something for immediately right after. Give yourself a little time. You might want to stay and talk to the teacher or to your classmates. So give yourself time and be patient with yourself. Take notice of your progress, little progress at a time. So here is a picture of a lady that wasn't able to stretch out her leg on day one, 90 days later, and it was 3 days a week she was practicing. She was able to stretch her leg out. And I love this picture of this lady, me before yoga and me after yoga. So, you know, sometimes we just have to show up all stressed out, overwhelmed, hair thrown back in a ponytail. You know, maybe we're feeling crummy. You know, maybe we're really struggling with, you know, grief or loss of someone you love. You know, this is life, and a true yoga teacher is going to be present for that. So, you know, you don't feel like you need to be a certain person. Don't avoid class on days that you're down. Those are the days you need to show up. Don't give up. Have patience with yourself. You know, your results are going to be different. Everybody else's results. Nobody else lives inside your body. Nobody else has had your life experience. You have your own story to live. So just hang on in there. Notice your own small little changes, you know, and you can do that by if you write your little note and then check back later on it. Make sure that you hydrate. You need to drink lots of water. Your body is flushing out toxins. Your internal organs are being moved in a way that is very new to them and foreign. And then all of that moves into the bloodstream. And then you can, if you don't get enough water, you can experience headaches and stiffness the next day. So hydrate, okay? And stay for the whole class. Even if you can't do everything, just be patient with yourself. It's okay. Nobody cares if everybody's focused on themselves. It's all about you. You. Yeah, you're in a group, but you're focused on you. And a really good teacher is going to keep you focused on you, your goals, your mat, your space. Okay? So the most important takeaway that I want you to have from this is that you need to honor yourself. If you are feeling called to try this for yourself, if you feel like there's more to life than where you're at right now, if you want to reduce your pain and inflammation, lose weight, sleep better at night, improve your relationships at work and at home, if you want to feel better about yourself, if you want to start rewriting your story, okay, then start to explore the possibility of yoga, okay? Try it. No matter where you are, you're going to be able to find a yoga class near you. I want you to honor yourself. Trust your gut. Trust your instinct. Remember that little person inside you that wanted to experience life in their most vibrant potential. This is your opportunity, okay? So you're still that same little person inside. I still want you to love yourself. And so here's a picture of me giving Erin a hug after she graduated from my yoga teacher training, and she teaches here 6 days a week. Picture of Jamie, who had 2 hip replacements and is now a yoga teacher and a very active mother of young children. Here I am practicing yoga with my cousin at my family reunion. And here I am relaxing with Gina and Shavasana. You can see I'm really enjoying it. I have a big smile on my face. Yoga helps us to give and receive love more easily. And my wish for you today is that you begin to give and receive love more freely. So that is all that I have for you today. I hope to meet you soon, and I'd like to end this tutorial the way that we end all of our yoga classes. Namaste. The divine in me honors the divine in you and knows that we are one. Find a yoga class near you today and give yourself a chance to heal.